What do we do with a big cosmetics and salon chain like Ulta Beauty in this incredibly difficult period where we've got a pandemic, mass unemployment, now civil unrest? Last Thursday, Ulta reported a tough quarter where most of the locations were closed. But management told a terrific and encouraging story about investments in their digital business and store reopenings. They say the vast majority will be open again by the end of June. In response, the stock actually rallied on Friday. Then this weekend came along, and unfortunately, some of their stores were damaged in a couple of different cities. That's probably why the stock got hit, even though it caught a great upgrade from Erin Murphy at Piper Sandler. Very smart report. So what does all this turmoil mean for a chain like Ulta? Let's take a closer look with Mary Dillon, the CEO of Ulta Beauty, find out more about how our company's doing in this challenging environment. Ms. Dillon, welcome back to Mad Money.
Thank you, Jim. It's great to be here.
Mary, it looks like the pent-up demand for Ulta stores as you open them up is just incredibly strong, whilst at the same time your digital, your GlamLab engagement is great too. Mm-hmm. So it's clear that people want to come back and shop in the physical store of Ulta.
Well, that's right. So, first of all, obviously it's been a challenging time for everybody. I'm thrilled that our guests are showing us that they really want to come back and engage in beauty. So as you know, we had to make the difficult decision to close all of our stores in March, and then we became an e-commerce only business overnight. And our e-commerce team delivered with such speed to meet the guest demand. And then, as you know, we also opened up curbside a few weeks later, and I'm calling that Ulta Beauty to Go. And our guests responded tremendously well. In fact, the first, 180 stores that we had open in that first few weeks, their total sales were similar very much to a year ago, just different by channel, of course. So far, so good. It's early, and as you know, there's a lot happening.
Well, I thought what was incredible was I wish people understood how incredible that is that your stores had those numbers without the stores, because most companies that have tried to do this have not been that successful.
Well, there's some pent-up demand for beauty. We saw that happening. But again, there's many, many weeks ahead of us to see how this unfolds. I'm thrilled about the fact that, standing here today, we have about 3/4 of our stores open for curbside, Ulta Beauty to Go, and a little over 50% fully open for retail. We've been taking it step by step, making sure that we're opening in the right way and making sure we're really caring about the health and safety of our associates and our guests. And so by the end of June, we should have most everything open.
Now, one of the things that's pretty clear is that if you're going to get a recession category that may be as close to recession-proof, it is hair care, makeup, skincare. Are you seeing that numbers just hold up even with an unemployment rate that's unimaginable?
Well, I would say this. Listen, Ulta Beauty's been around for 30 years. We're not recession-proof, but we've got a really strong business model. We call it all things beauty all in one place, right? From mass to prestige, categories from makeup to hair to skincare. And so it allows us to participate and meet the guests where they are. And what we're seeing is that when this whole thing first started with the pandemic, certainly people started to buy things like hand sanitizers and soaps. That was the immediate need. And then that evolved, as you can imagine, to do it yourself, do it at home kinds of products for hair color and nails and things like that. And then it evolved to a place I think was really interesting, which is more about self-care. And that intersection of beauty and wellness and self-care is very important. And we saw our guests really love to do things like, do more skincare, do more hair masks, use more scented things in their house. And so, that's all, we participate in all those categories. And as people are going back to work, whether it's on a video call or not, certainly looking professional, doing your hair, doing your makeup is an important part of the ritual that is happening.
Well, let's talk about the doing the video from home. We had Fabrizio Fredo on, we all know, the great Estee Lauder CEO. And he said, Jim, it was the selfie generation. Now it's the Zoomy generation. And he said people don't really care how they look on a Zoomy. They know they don't. It's like, holy cow. It turns out that they're looking at themselves. Others are looking at them, and they have to get made up. 300 million people on Zoom. Have you seen some demand from that?
Well, I think it's early to say. We've certainly seen skincare trends continue to accelerate. And makeup as well. We saw as people started to participate in the curbside pickup that makeup actually over-indexed there relative to what we were seeing. So that was interesting. And it's early to say, right? But I do think that, and I've seen this anecdotally with a lot of folks, when you were doing audio-only calls, you could look however you wanted. When it's a video call, you want to present yourself in the way that you would look normally, I guess, at work. And so some of those rituals are coming back.
Now, let's talk about the tragic events this weekend. I guess about 3 years ago, you gave a talk at the Wall Street Journal. It was a panel. And you talked about the opening of a store in Hyde Park. And you went there, and you weren't happy with the representation of women there. And you made some changes that showed you're well ahead of the way people are thinking about these things.
Well, listen, at Ulta Beauty, we place such high importance in celebrating all the beauty around us in all forms and all ways that people express their beauty. And yes, I feel like as an industry and certainly as a company, this was 7 years ago now, but we had some way to go to really represent the beautiful diversity of our country. And when you come into our stores today, I'm so proud of this. Our general managers tell me this all the time. Our salon managers, they see that the images that we show represent all women and men and people who are non-gender binary, people who are of all races and all ages. And that's really important. And so for me, I feel like, we're doing the part that we can do to really listen to our associates and our guests and represent beauty in all of its beautiful dimensions.
At the same time, I know you had some stores that were damaged. You've always been in all sorts of different neighborhoods. And how are those? How can you bring them back online? How soon?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly have had some stores that we've had to close over the weekend. And listen, just stepping back, we had a town hall on Friday that I do every quarter after our earnings call the next day. And we had over 2,000 people on the call because we did it all via, a teleconference. And one of the things I talked about there was the unfortunate situation with George Floyd. And what that means to our employees and our associates and our guests as we see the continued difficulties that exist, the combination of the pandemic, as well as this issue that was really sad to see. And one of the things we talked about was we're not going to solve it all, but we need to make sure we're a place that we can talk to each other and learn from each other about how we're feeling about this. Now, having said that, and we certainly support people's rights to protest, but then, this went further over the weekend, and many retailers, unfortunately, were affected. And retailers, we're working hard together to bring back the economy, to bring back our stores for our guests and to keep our guests and our associates safe. So we will do what we need to do to keep our guests safe and our associates safe, which means we closed a lot of stores to make sure that they weren't in a difficult situation. I'm sure we will bring these stores back. It'll be fine, but right now it's challenging.
Well, look, I have total faith that you come to that June deadline, maybe stores open up, and it'll just be a huge year for Ulta Beauty. Mary Dillon, CEO of Ulta Beauty, thank you so much for coming on Mad Money.
Thank you.
This may be a terrific time to buy this company's shares before they actually reopen. Don't forget, they've got a gigantic Ultimates. You should go on that site, by the way, if you haven't. Their rewards program, which is the biggest in the country. Mad Money's back after the break.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.